Okay, people, welcome to the show. Yes, I could put a promo at the beginning of it, other than the continuous Showtime commercials that I keep giving every week. The most promotion Showtime has gotten in years. Just wait until I move over to the movie channel. I think that Cinema Snob in and of itself kind of it is already a Cinemax promotion, really. And 1983 in film, I know that's not made public yet. There's a lot of HBO nods in that one. Anytime I needed a commercial break in 1983 in film, which is like 11 times in the episode, there's like a coming soon attraction from HBO back in the early 80s. So that was fun to do. But anyway, no, I decided not to have I did write a promo. Well, I take that back. I did write a promo, but I decided not to shoot it or edit it, render it, move it over to the laptop. Because really, I can just read it. I've already got my notes right here. I can get a picture on here to advertise our Cameo page for just a second. And you see, this right here is giving you all the magic that you'll find over on Cameo. You want me sitting in this relatively same position, like kind of the same angle, but more a vertical, of course. And in that one, you get to choose what I ramble about. Unlike here, where it's really in the second half with the super chats that you can choose what I ramble about. So let me go ahead and get our picture for Cameo up here. There we go. Be sure to take part in the summer sale going on all week over on Cameo. Cameo is now 25% off, so you can get yourself a personalized message from me, a shout out, birthday wish, plenty of stuff. Visit us now over at cameo.com/the Cinema Snob. That was faster than me editing and shooting that. Why don't I just do live episodes of the Cinema Snob? It would save me hours in editing. Earlier, I was editing for 8 hours on an episode that's over on Patreon right now. Decided to go back into Ron Ormond's filmography, but pre-Born Again Ron Ormond. If you don't know, Ron Ormond was the director of the Estes Perkle trilogy. A Footmen Tire You, What Will Horses Do, The Burning Hell, and The Believer's Heaven. One of the greatest trilogies in the history of mankind. Very religious movies and very, very graphic. But we went back a little earlier for a Ron Ormond movie about marriage called Please Don't Touch Me. All you need to know is it is about it's a wife exploitation movie. She isn't so much into having sex with her chain smoking husband, but luckily it's 1959, so there will be hypnotism involved. That's over there right now at patreon.com/the Cinema Snob. I could have used some AI or artificial intelligence. That's the buzz going around. I could have used that to maybe maybe even create this podcast, though it won't get my uhs and ums down near to the perfection that I do. No, I'm just saying that because I was at a convention last weekend, so of course I'm convention tired. I still got all my work done for the week, but just a little bit of a laying around, relaxing the feet, and all that. Post-con kind of getting my energy back. I don't know what that says about my future, where I'm sitting here like, I'm really tired, I sold books at the convention all weekend long. Well, what do you got coming up for you in the months ahead? I'm going to be a father. So I hear that might make me more tired than watching movies about marital hypnotists. and also going to a convention in Peoria and selling some books. I may be more tired after Jack Sport. I mean, speaking of, I do want to make this announcement about some content coming up, or lack thereof. No, still going to be, Cinema Snobs every week, and then also working on the year in reviews. No, all that stuff's fine. The live streams are going to be here. As for this one other thing, kind of knew this would happen eventually. There is certainly a lot more time I've been wanting to spend at home. The baby's due in October. Laura just hit the third trimester, and the book is doing incredibly well also. So I've pretty much jumped in right away to writing the second. So with me wanting to do a lot more work from home, with me wanting to be here during these final couple of months with the pregnancy and everything, and then of course when the baby's here, something had to be sacrificed, and that sacrifice is for the most part going to see the current movies out in theaters and coming back and review them. I mean, there'll be some stuff that comes out that sure I'll go see, especially if it pertains kind of heavily to the rest of the shows that we do. Like, I'm sure I'll be there when the new Exorcist comes out. Things like that. Like, had Evil Dead Rise been out in the next couple months, I would have gone to have seen that. But I don't really need to see whatever is coming out this weekend. So. But who knows? Maybe as time goes on, maybe it would actually be more convenient for me to do that kind of video. But I doubt it. So, I need just, my regular work days, and certainly a whole day dedicated to my book. I wanted to just say my book, my second book, instead of just saying the title. I need a whole day dedicated to Bat Pussy. I'm only human. As the name of my second book, by the way. So anyway, that kind of had to go the wayside. I tried sticking with it for as long as I could. Basically, there was even some stuff that I still missed because I wanted to be home. I at least wanted to wait for Barbenheimer to do that double feature that I would have seen in the same day anyway, regardless of that turning into a meme. But I at least wanted to wait for something to kind of not be the final current movie review, but just one to where, I'll just be taking a little bit of a break from it. Though, I will probably at the least, these will kind of play by ear, just depending on what kind of material I have. But, no, I'll try to do extra live streams too. Extra live streams. If anything, maybe even shooting just a little isolated Brad tries. So don't worry. There's still plenty of content coming. I mean, it might just be less me reviewing Disney theme park attraction movies, and more me doing something like this. Some episodes it's trying some fast food sandwich out there or something spicy. I've got this gummy bear challenge thing in the other room. I might try to do that on Friday. I didn't feel like eating something spicy tonight, so I figured I'd go with this material. Now, one of the things at the convention that was it talked about quite a bit was hidden, especially on the podcast I listened to as well, because it was a few hour ride to the con and back, so I had some shows on. But anyway, certainly the topics would revolve around the writers' strike, the SAG actors' strike as well, to where it was even, I even saw this on the news. It was even like a big thing that someone was testing out all this AI to kind of create episodes of their own, of not their own shows, but to create episodes of South Park, and some of them were posted, and I looked at some of them and they were so awkward looking. Even just like little things, like the position of where the characters were standing was like a little awkward when you watched it. And hell, I was listening to Double Toasted, and they were talking about just for the hell of it, just going through there and like prompting it to make their own episodes of a lot of different things. So that piqued my curiosity a little bit. I was like, I've never used the AI thing. I am not even in a million years going to pretend to know what I'm talking about on that. I've never really used ChatGPT until this thing that I'm about to do right here. So my curiosity was piqued. I go, what if I type in for it to write the script for a Cinema Snob episode? What would it look like? I was so curious about this because I had a lot of time to kill after I watched what is it? Please Don't Touch Me. Please Don't Touch Me is only like an hour long. I would type in just out of the hell of it. I could have typed in like, write a Cinema Snob episode on Please Don't Touch Me, and let me see how well it matches up against what I actually wrote for it. Then I am counting on ChatGPT knowing what Ron Ormond's Please Don't Touch Me is. And then I was thinking too, like, what era would it be? Like, if it's copying the Cinema Snob, is it like the early couple of years when the episodes were a lot shorter, when there was like the 10-minute time limit on episodes? Is it more like the shoutier, more vulgar years? Is it more like that brief kind of political era? Is it more like the religious episodes? Is it more like now where it's a mixture of snark and actually reviewing the movie? What's it going to copy? So you guys want me to the script? You guys want me to read the script that it gave me? Here's what I did. I was sitting there, and I was thinking, what movie would it be off the top of my head? Nothing like really specific that I had in mind right away. It was kind of just like, all right, let me just think of some title that you would think might be on the Cinema Snob, but well known enough. So I picked Hostel. So ChatGPT wrote for me a script of a Cinema Snob episode on Eli Roth's horror film Hostel. So I'm going to go ahead and read this because I've been laughing about it for days. Part of me almost wanted to film it. So, okay. Going to be reading all the parts here. Myself and just the action beats and notes and everything. So, the Cinema Snob reviews Hostel. Opening scene. Next sweater. Right away, we're off to a start here. You guys know this, right? One of the huge things about the Cinema Snob. Well, two things. My turtleneck sweater and my flowing red hair. In his turtleneck sweater, sits at his cluttered desk. It is when I'm editing, but anyway. Surrounded by movie memorabilia. Well, yeah, okay. The camera zooms in. There's plenty of zooms on the Cinema Snob. The camera zooms in as he picks up a DVD case with the title Hostel. Here's where we get into the lines. Cinema Snob, smirking. Well, 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 my lucky snobsters. Today we're diving into a film that takes vacation horror to a whole new level. Hostel, huh? I guess I should be holding the DVD. Hostel, huh? Let's see if it's worth checking into, or if you'd be better off avoiding this particular lodging. The episode begins with the Cinema Snob providing a brief background on the movie. He explains it's a 2005 horror film directed by Eli Roth, follows a group of backpackers who stumble upon a mysterious hostel in Slovakia, which turns out to be a den of sadistic torture and murder. Cinema Snob raising his eyebrow, posing for the title card, I guess. Cinema Snob raising his eyebrow. Slovakia. The country known for its picturesque landscapes and charming hospitality. Somehow, I doubt this movie will have a tourism-friendly tone. The Cinema Snob delves into the film's plot, narrating key points and character arcs while occasionally pausing to provide humorous commentary. Humorous depending on the episode. To provide humorous commentary. Cinema Snob, deadpan. Oh, thanks for making that specific. Yeah, it's the deadpan line of the Cinema Snob. Here we have three young American backpackers seeking European adventures. Little do they know, they're about to experience Eastern Europe's version of Airbnb. Blood-soaked torture chambers. That's what B&B stands for. As the Cinema Snob discusses the film's infamous gory scenes, he occasionally winces at the sheer brutality of it. Ooh, that eyeball, and oh my God, with the foot and the hamstring. Ugh. I improvised those noises, thank you. Cinema Snob covering his eyes, as I usually do. Cinema Snob covers his... Ooh, I don't want to see that part of E.T. Cinema Snob covers his eyes. Oh, that's gruesome! That is part of the script, by the way. We're back to the script. Oh, that's gruesome. I guess the This fucking joke. I guess the hostel's motto is, for a 5-star experience, you'll need at least 5 liters of blood. Hello? Is this thing on? The Cinema Snob analyzes Eli Roth's directing style and offers his opinion on the film's visual aesthetics and overall atmosphere. Good aesthetics, good atmosphere. Cinema Snob leaning back. Oh yeah, I typically do that in the chair. Well, I can here. I'll lean back. Is it still gory? Cinema Snob leaning back. Roth sure knows how to create a chilling ambiance. Though I'm not entirely convinced that people flock to Slovakia for this kind of adventure. Right? The killing and the torture. Cinema Snob critiques the decisions made by the characters in the film, poking fun at their questionable judgment. Cinema Snob rolls his eyes. The classic horror trope. Characters making dumb choices. Look, if a local warns you not to go somewhere, just listen to them. Trust me, it'll save your limbs. You don't want that to happen. It'd be painful. After a thorough review, again, debatable. After a thorough review, it was bloody, had ambiance. Characters were questionable. I don't know. I covered my eyes through most of it. After a thorough review, the Cinema Snob delivers his verdict on Hostel. Cinema Snob leaning forward. Oh, hang on. Okay. Cinema Snob leaning forward. All right, my dear snobsters. Hostel is undeniably disturbing, and it's not for the faint of heart. If you're into extreme horror and gratuitous violence, this might be right up your dark alley. But for the rest of us, you might want to opt in for a more tranquil movie night. See, here's some problems with this. One, I don't know if I have ever given a nickname to the audience, let alone snobsters. I also don't know if I've ever used the word tranquil in anything I've ever reviewed. There's still the closing. Just wait to hear this send off. The episode wraps up with the Cinema Snob thanking his viewers, and reminding them to stay away from sketchy hostels, no matter how tempting the adventure may seem. That's not even my line. That's just part of the action. So what my line is, Cinema Snob smirking. And that's it for today's review. Remember, my friends, life is already scary enough. No need to seek out horrors like these for your vacation. Stay safe, and most importantly, stay snobby. I didn't improv that wink. It says the Cinema Snob gives a snarky wink to the camera as the episode comes to an end. You know what? Here's the thing. Like, I think it actually might be using my like first year or two of episodes as a template because it's kind of written that way. Like, those kinds of lines, I could even how the delivery of the Cinema Snob was in like the very beginning of the show. I could see doing lines like that. Like, it might not be a 5-star experience, but it will need 5 liters of blood. I could kind of see that being the case. Granted, I know that there is a lot of things that I've forgotten about episodes over the years. There's whole movies I've forgotten that have been featured on the Cinema Snob. But I don't think I've ever said, welcome, snobsters. And remember, stay snobby. That's all. That is a mixture of the Snob and what Double Toasted's send-off is at the end of their episodes. Stay toasty. Stay snobby. I loved it so much. I honestly, like, joking aside, it does seem like it is kind of written like how because it's short, it's short, and the action points, it's kind of talking about if it was a non-linear review where they would hit in parts of it. It needs some work. It needs a little bit of, it needs some script doctoring. I hate to break it to some greedy producers out there, but I don't know if this thing's going to be taken over, man. Greedy ass producers out there. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'll still use it for the laughs. This is. You want to hear another one? I printed out another one. I can read another one, or I can go right away into answering the super chat questions and comments. Because last night I was like, what would it do if, now this isn't the one I'm going to read, but last night I was wondering, like, what would it do if I put in something serious, like write a Cinema Snob episode on Schindler's List. That's not the one that I printed out, but like I did write that in, and what it gave me was there wasn't any jokes in it. There wasn't any joke. It just read like a regular review of Schindler's List. So then I tried it again on something like, okay, well, again, what is something that would probably be on the Cinema Snob? So I picked Paranormal Activity. If you want me to read the other one, I've got it right here. We can save it. We can save it for another time, or we can let this fun continue. And I can read lengthwise. It's about the same length as the Hostel one. Let me go ahead and pull it up. All right. We'll read the ChatGPT's version of a Cinema Snob episode on the found footage horror film Paranormal Activity. Okay, here we go. The Cinema Snob is seated in his cozy theater room. Ooh, I've upgraded to a theater room in this one. Surrounded by his vintage movie posters. Okay, that's accurate. Yeah, he holds up a DVD case. That's another thing that makes me wonder. Like this AI is like using for reference the period where I still had my DVD collection. Because he holds up the case with the title Paranormal Activity written across it. Cinema Snob grinning. Greetings, my snobsters. It says that. I'm not being a smartass. It says that. Greetings, my snobsters. Today we're going to dive into the world of found footage horror with Paranormal Activity. Brace yourselves for bumps in the night and things that go bump on screen. That could also work for a porn episode, honestly. The Cinema Snob introduces Paranormal Activity and sets the stage for what's to come. He explains that the film is presented as found footage, following a couple, Katie and Micah, as they experience strange occurrences in their home. Cinema Snob raising an eyebrow. Found footage, huh? Because when spooky things are happening, the first thing you think of is to grab a camera and record it. Said every negative review of a found footage movie ever. The Cinema Snob examines the movie's documentary-style approach and whether it adds to the overall suspense or detracts from the viewing experience. It's AI is playing it both ways here. Could be positive or negative. Cinema Snob sarcastically. Oh, thanks. Is it deadpan too? It's... Thanks for clarifying that. Sarcastically. Ah, yes. Nothing says documentary like a handheld camera watching everything at just the right angle. Clearly, these filmmakers had a PhD in cinematography. That's a joke. The Cinema Snob comments on the slow build-up of tension and effectiveness of the film's scares. The Cinema Snob, leaning in. I'm leaning in again. Okay, it's getting serious. Cinema Snob leaning in. Bravo, Paranormal Activity, for taking a page from the less is more horror playbook. I think he's being sincere. I think Cinema Snob is being sincere right here. So maybe that's why they added sarcasm to the other one. Okay, it's got to be more sincere. Okay. Bravo, Paranormal Activity, for taking a page from the less is more playbook. A creaky door here, a flickering light there. It's the stuff that keeps you awake at night, wondering if you're truly alone. Ooh, getting deep. The Cinema Snob humorously critiques Micah's questionable decisions. I love that AI knew to write that. And his behavior throughout the movie. Cinema Snob rolling his eyes. Ugh. Ah, Micah, the real hero of the story. Who needs a paranormal investigator when you have a guy who taunts ghosts and tries to capture them on camera? Genius. It didn't say, but I'm assuming that's supposed to be read sarcastically. The Cinema Snob playfully dissects some of the film's found footage logic. It put logic in quotes. Cinema Snob smirking. I love how the people in these films always seem to have fully charged batteries, even when they're under a ghostly attack. Is there this joke? Okay. All right, hang on. Let me go back to the setup. Okay. I love how they have fully charged batteries, even when under attack. Is there a supernatural Best Buy nearby? Why does it have to be supernatural? Just any old battery will do. Okay. After analyzing the film's strengths and weaknesses, the Cinema Snob delivers his verdict on Paranormal Activity. Cinema Snob nodding. Do I got to be doing this through the whole line here? Paranormal Activity successfully taps into our primal fear of the unknown, proving that sometimes what we don't see is far scarier than what we do. Analytical. The found The found footage gimmick works well in creating a chilling atmosphere, but some moments may want to make you yell at the screen. Getting in some mica burns on this AI review. The Cinema Snob bids farewell to his audience, offering a final word of advice for those considering watching Paranormal Activity. Cinema Snob, smiling. Wait till you hear this. Okay. Let's see if I can get through this. Whew, all right. If you enjoy being spooked in the comfort of your home, Paranormal Activity is right up your dark alley. It loves that joke. Side note there. Right up your dark alley. But remember, folks. Here we go. Ooh, wait for it. Okay. But remember, folks. If you start experiencing strange happenings after watching, don't come blaming me. I'm just the snob who watches movies, not a ghost whisperer. That's all, snobsters. It didn't even address my loyal followers as snobsters at the end of it. Where's my trademark? Stay snobby, fellow snobsters. Don't you come crying to me if this movie scared you. What do I look like to you? A Ghostbuster? It's so good. I love it so much. Whew. Oh, that was good. So great. Okay. Even in the chat right now, they're going, 6 snobbies out of 10, right? I will give it 6 snobbies out of 10. Man, okay. That was actually a lot of fun. And I really want to do more. We will. Not every week. We'll make it a special occasion. Like me reading ChatGPT snob episodes. Ooh, it's the greatest material that I never wrote. Again, but does kind of sound like it came from the first few years of the show. All right, let's go ahead and get your super chat questions in here, and I'll answer them as myself. Won't be doing AI. Even though last week doing it AI actually might have helped me out a little bit. I had one of 3 things happen last week during the super chat session. Either I had the biggest brain fart in the world, or lived in the world's dumbest Mandela effect, or made a simple mistake. So I was asked last week about the movie. Nixon, and I brought up the fact that was in my head about Norm Macdonald being in the movie, and then dude wrote another super chat and said Norm Macdonald wasn't in that. Well, thank God I wasn't. I mean, I was adamant. Because it made sense in my head for some reason. I was like, no, he was in it. Dude, seriously, he was in it. Trust me. Come on. Where's my evidence? Here's my evidence. Trust me, bro. He's in that movie. But then the more I kept talking, the more I kept thinking, I'm thinking of People versus Larry Flint, aren't I? It's only human to once in your life confuse Richard M. Nixon with Larry Flint. Both have ran for office before. So I wrote him a comment afterwards and was like, if we ever meet in person, I'll buy you a drink. But I was so adamant about it, where I was like, no, dude, he was in it. Come on. Who's kidding who here? He's in that movie, man. I hope that there was a split second that I was so convincing that for 1 second, he second-guessed himself. Like, Brad seems serious. Maybe he is. Maybe he saw the uncut version. There's like 12 cuts of Alexander. Surely there's a cut of Nixon that has Norm Macdonald as Burt Reynolds making a cameo. See, it's all better in my head. Oh, right. Dick, that's the one with Saturday Night Live people in it. Though I don't know if Norm Macdonald's in it. So, okay. All right. Daniel Vasquez says, you should have AI write a script for a Midnight Screenings episode. Not a bad idea. I tried that, but it made Irving sound like a teacher instead of being himself. Maybe it accidentally wrote Irving as my buddy Buford. He's been in a lot of our movies. He was in the Midnight Screenings for Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. He's a teacher in real life. It could have been him. Doctober goes, great meeting you in Peoria. Hope I wasn't too awkward. No, dude, you were fine. No, it's all good. Are you kidding me? Nothing will top the awkwardness of forgetting the cast of Nixon and also reading a ChatGPT script. Whatever, that wasn't awkward. That was amazing. Can't wait to do that again. Oh, no, you were fine. I love meeting my snobsters in real life. We're a family of snobsters. Campbellzilla says, to celebrate your son's forthcoming birth, I suggest you do snobs on baby-centric movies. I know, I'm thinking that too. I will. There will be some baby-centric movies, such as he said, Larry Cohen's It's Alive and Schwarzenegger. I don't know about Schwarzenegger's Jr., I mean, maybe. But that Rabbit Test. Wait, is it Rabbit? What's the? Yeah, it's Rabbit Test, right? The one with Billy Crystal that Joan Rivers directed. Isn't that what it was called? Maybe that one. The Unborn. The Unborn. I'll do. Probably Demonic Toys because it's got Baby Oops-a-Daisy in it. At least those, I will. Yeah, I absolutely will. You know, when Laura and I got married, I did He Knows You're Alone. I think is that still? Yeah, there it is. I got The Signs of Our Love, wedding ring, and the copy of He Knows You're Alone, and the baby too. All right. Danny McGraw says, hey, Brad, what's your favorite of the reviews you've done with Doug? Mine is That Darn Cat. The Sharknado one was a lot of fun. It's hard because I had a really good time making all of them. Honestly, maybe Force Awakens because I loved doing the Harrison Ford voice anyway. And doing it as the opening from the Star Wars Holiday Special. I know your family's waiting. Like, I had so much fun doing that. And I was just... Sometimes the silliest things in the world can just get to me hardcore and just make me laugh uncontrollably, like tears in my eyes. And Doug, dressed as Jar Jar, wearing overalls... Because I guess that kind of makes sense. Like, if you don't have, like, Jar Jar wardrobe, overalls kind of do make sense. Like, I get... The pieces are coming to... I can see that in my head. And just stepping in poo and screaming, ew, Piusa, for some reason, I loved watching that. It just made me laugh so much. Like, this was during the holidays that episode was shot. And Rob says to me, he goes, oh, while he's shooting that, do you want to go look at some lights? I'm sitting there going, honestly, I really want to see him step in this fake poo again. It's killing me, man. No, I had a really good time doing that. Matt Floret goes, you have to refer to us all as snobsters now. Oh, way ahead of you. Oh, it's already, it's going to be official. You're all snobsters now. And when we all die, somewhere on the tombstone, it'll say snobsters. Snobsters. It's so good. And stay snobby. Like, you know, you have to stay snobby. If you want to be an official snobster, it goes without saying, you got to stay snobby. Right. And wear your finest black turtleneck. Robert Tabora goes, what's your favorite scary movie? Scream. No. My favorite scary movie? Oh, it's the AI review of Hostel. That's my favorite. Cool. I kind of regret journeying down that dark alley. Favorite scary movie? Dawn of the Dead. The original. Yeah. Probably is Dawn of the Dead. As for ones that are like scary, I mean Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like would probably be the movie that like frightened my ass the most. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead takes it. It depends on what mood the kind of mood you're in. The mood for something like wildly gritty and disturbing, you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre. In the mood for something more like that's just fun. It's a great satire. It's quotable. The characters are outstanding. You got Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead. Jacob Matthew Crawford. Hey man, me and my cousin Alice in Charleston did a reaction video of your film Freak Out to celebrate it turning 20 years old. Oh my god, my movie Freak Out is 20 years old. Ooh. Technically, it wasn't the first full-length movie I did. There's a Lost movie that was like 69 minutes long. So it's debatable, like that's full length or not, depending on what it's listed at on VOD. It's not on VOD, but yeah, Freak Out. That was a movie I did. It was 20 years ago. It's a fictitious It's inspired off of the Candyman serial killer, Dean Corll. It's a fictitious kind of take off of that, where it takes place like in his last night alive, whereas it's basically about a drug party in the house in the 1970s where things go south because the host is a serial killer. So it was sort of like I wanted to kind of do something that was like a take off of a true story, but not, it takes a lot of liberties. The movie's fictitious. It just kind of uses that as a base. Also, I think I was influenced quite a bit by House on the Edge of the Park at the time too. I really wanted to do a very, very dark movie, kind of in one location with a killer that had like a lot of disco music in it. So I did Freak Out. And I wrote it, directed it, I edited it. Or I edited one version. Ryan directed the final version of it. Or I'm sorry, edited the final version of it. And I play the killer. And that was, man, I can't believe it's been 20 years. 2003, jeez. Weirdly, I'm more age appropriate for that role now. I was, 22 when I did that. I'm supposed to be in my mid 30s in the movie. And I haven't seen the movie in a really long time. So I'm guessing I look a lot younger than in my mid 30s in that. But yeah, I won. There was some horror award. I got a best villain thing for it. It was a trip playing that, especially it's got this whole one shot ending sequence where we got it in one take, and I had to do this big monologue as this killer, and it was really sadistic. It's a dark scene. It's lit blood red. And then after, had to take a breather, have a cigarette, go back into directing mode while playing the worst person I've ever played in a movie. I like playing villains. If you look at my acting roles, it's usually villains. But he's hoping to... Oh, so you haven't posted he's shot it. Jacob Matthew Crawford again says, I'm hoping to have it up August 8th to coincide with the 50th anniversary of the killer's death. Right, yeah, I'll check out your video on that. I haven't seen that movie in a long, long time. I don't go back and rewatch a lot of them, or any of them, really, because I kind of like just the memory to stay in my head, as opposed to kind of sitting there 20 years later and being like, well, I definitely changed that, definitely changed that, definitely changed that. I kind of like just having them exist just sort of in my head, really. I'm usually thinking about the next thing. When I was a much heavier drinker, I'd put the movies on a lot more, just because you drink a lot, you feel a little nostalgic. and then you kind of put something like that in. Then I would, but I don't really drink anymore, so yeah, I haven't seen the movies in a long time. I almost skipped one. Sorry. Campbellzilla says, with Dune Part 2 and Rebel Moon coming out this year, any chance of space opera cash-ins on the Cinema Snob? I recommend Lorca and the Outlaws and Star Chaser, The Legend of Orin. I'm kind of playing it by ear on certain episodes, like, because 1983 in film is going to be coming soon, and I'm going to do a lot of tie-in episodes with that, like some double feature episodes. Off the top of my head, Deadly. What's the Wingshauser movie? The Wingshauser cop movie and a Deadly Force. Deadly Force, double feature of like Deadly Force with the big score with Fred Williamson, or My Tutor with A Night in Heaven, Private School with Getting It On, or something like that. So I'm gonna have some double feature episodes to go along with that. So I don't know if I'll have time. Also, there'll be the baby episodes too, so I don't know how much I'll have time for like a Dune tie-in. If I did do a Dune tie-in, it would be on like David Lynch's Dune, which maybe I will do that. Actually, that might do fairly well. Maybe I'll think about it. Jacob Matthew Crawford goes, now for a question. What do you say to Class of 86 t-shirts and Sean Millington's book cover on them? Yeah, I'd be down. There's another shirt he's working on now that's like an Oogie Loves, do you like bubbles, but with me at the cowboy hat. So do you like bubbles? He's working on that now, but maybe it may be something like that. If anything, I got to get like a big backdrop for doing some con. Like I do have it. If you missed us in Peoria, I'm doing Planet Funk Con in Davenport at the end of August. I'm playing Grand Rapids is in November. I'm playing that by ear. As of now, I'm going to it, but you know, dude, something might change between now and then. But as of now, I'm going to Grand Rapids. I'll be doing a lot more cons with taking the book around next year. And Jacob also says the Left Behind 3 video rocked. That movie was worse than I thought it was going to be. I was actually kind of okay with the first two, to the point to where at the second, I was like, okay, I kind of want to see where this goes. How's this going to wrap up? The trilogy is complete with the third, and those first two, like Kirk Cameron ones, are the best Left Behind movies. So I'm like, I got to see how they close it out with the third. And they don't close it out at all. There was no way that was intended to be the last one. It ends on a cliffhanger, and Kirk Cameron, his last line in it going, "We need to talk," which is like in every other post-credit scene ever made. So, and it was also like, it's not even adapted from the third book entirely. It's mostly adapted from a couple of chapters in the second book. So it's wildly padded, like obnoxiously padded. It was bad. I'm like, what? I don't get it. Had to have been some budget thing, why it's so padded, why it's only a couple chapters. I'm surprised they didn't give it any kind of ending. When Fat Kills Fat 80. Your favorite memoirs, since you have your own book out now. Memoirs. Have I read any memoirs? Memoirs of an Invisible Man with Chevy Chase. Memoirs of a Geisha. I've not seen it, but it's got memoirs in the name. He says his is Scar Tissue by Anthony Kiedis and Dying of Politeness by Gina Davis. I like Matthew Perry's book that just came out. Memoirs. I know I got a book out now, but I actually really don't do that much reading. Matthew Perry's book is really good, only because it's the one I think of off the top of my head, and it's one of the first books I've read in quite a while. So I love Matthew Perry, so I thought it was I thought it was a really good book. Um, I think that's it. I think that's all we got for super chat questions and everything. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to Laura and I. We got our baby shower this weekend. The baby shower is going on this weekend, so that'll probably be a topic to talk about on the show next week. But I'll try to do another stream on Friday since won't have any movie reviews up or anything. So I'm gonna try to stream on Friday, even if it's just the spicy gummy bears that I have in there. So, all right, let me get my outro pulled up. And whatever you do, folks, whatever you do, my fellow snobsters, if the world starts getting to you, don't get too sad, don't get too depressed or too lonely. Always just sit there, look in the mirror, wink, do the finger guns, and simply say, stay snobby. So stupid. All right. Take care. Have a great week.